Yeah, that's how we roll here, isn't it? That's how we roll here. Okay, Taylor Noël, you are, normally we do this little hot take thing, but we're not going to do that today because you have such an interesting job. You are a funeral director.
I am.
Which, like, kind of, there's a few buckets here where you're like, hey, you are young and you're in a profession where I normally think about old men.
Yep.
Tell me a little, let's start with how you got into this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And the microphones work this time too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I graduated high school. I was going into college for pre-med. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew that I needed to get myself out there, work with the public more. I worked at the mall selling some clothes, so...
Which store did you work at?
Maurice's.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a women's clothing store, so I hope you don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue.
When I graduated, I wanted to work somewhere that meant something. My grandpa worked at a funeral home. He helps out with funerals. And I said it'd be cool to work with my grandpa. Love my grandpa. So he put in a good name for me. Mm-hmm. And I was able to work there for about 7 years. I worked as a funeral associate, funeral service associate. So I helped out when they ran funerals. I was the one who pointed people, where they needed to go, helped them with anything.
Like an usher.
Yeah, hospitality-wise. At the end, I would help with flowers. Wherever they wanted those delivered, I would take them there. Mm-hmm. So just a lot of helping and getting to witness a lot of things that a lot of people don't really witness more than once or a few times in their life. So.
But what makes a 20-something want to say, hey, I'm going to wake up and spend my time around death? Like, that's just, there's no, like...
I have no idea.
It's just an interesting journey that you took.
It is.
Was there something about death that just, like, you gravitated toward, or was it your grandfather's work, or...
He brought me in as a child. He's worked there for 23 years, so he started when I was 5. Okay. And he brought me in to see everything just a
Was
few
he, like,
times.
your central figure growing up?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Besides my parents, I was there when I was little.
Okay.
Just as a daycare. I didn't go to daycare, so my grandma was the one that was watching me.
You didn't go to daycare, you went to the funeral home? Is that what you said?
She would bring me to the funeral home when Grandpa was working. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She'd take me there, and I'd be able to look around. Just when no one was there, I'd be able to just look around and see what it was as a 6, 7-year-old. So it was a different atmosphere.
So you're kind of a generational funeral. I don't really think of funeral directors as generational, but that's kind of
in. A lot of them are.
Really?
Nowadays. Yeah, it's because their parents or grandparents started one, actually. So for my grandpa, he works there. It's a retirement job. He drives the coach or the hearse, whenever there's a funeral.
Yeah.
But he would just take me there when he was working a few hours every few days. Just
while you were like 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
So your formative years, you spent around loss and grief and death and hospitality and...
But for me, I didn't really
You didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Emphasis on what was going on there. It was just different to see. I was comfortable with it after a while, and so when I grew up, it wasn't something that I'm like, I want to be around death. It was more of I'm comfortable in that atmosphere. I might as well just work there for a few years while I'm going to college. I ended up changing my degree and going to college for it. I loved it. I loved the work I was doing.
Wow.
I've been in it for 10 years now.
Do people act differently now that they know, like when you tell them you're a funeral director?
Definitely, yeah.
Really? What's the switch?
I'm the weird girl sometimes, so.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the mood shifts or what?
It's something that they're uncomfortable with. Death is a very uncomfortable topic.
Yeah.
And so when I say that, some of them ask questions that I'm not really comfortable answering sometimes.
Sure.
Just because it is personal and it is emotional. But then the other half of people, they're kind of like, oh, wow. And then they'll change the subject. So.
As a pastor, I get that, man. Like, either people will get very uncomfortable changing the subject, or they'll tell me how their grandfather was a deacon, or then they'll start trying to have this massive religious conversation with me, and I'm like, I'm your wrong guy. Like, I get that. Oh man, I really get that. So what surprised you most? But you grew up in it, but what surprised you most when you like entered it full time? Like, when you're like, hey, I'm all in, I went to school for it. What surprised you most about this profession?
The amount of work that the funeral professionals really put into what they do. They are there not only throughout the day, but at night when you need them.
What do you mean by that?
When someone passes away, they're the ones that are there to...
It's not the coroner that goes first?
Nope. If it's a hospital, nursing home, or a residence, we are the ones that will transfer that person into our care.
You know what? I was just at a house where somebody passed away, and you're right, but they called the coroner. It was at their house. They called the coroner, and then the coroner was like, okay, we did this part of it, and then they did call the funeral home. That's interesting. I didn't you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So if there's no nurse there, if there's no hospice involved, if this is more unexpected, they will call the coroner just to have a small investigation. If it's something that he's been sick a while or she's been sick a while, and the coroner's like, the doctor has been involved for the last several months. I'm just going to let the funeral home take him into their care.
Okay.
Because the coroner, they do things if there's something that, anything that's just an outlier when it comes to a death.
Yeah.
So something traumatic.
Yeah.
Unexpected, that's when they'll take them into their care.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still want to pull at this thread of younger female in the profession, because it's reshaping imagination of what your profession looks like, Yeah. And so just a few questions, and that would be have you ever walked into a room where people underestimated you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Growing up in, the last 10 years, I would be the one that is there when someone passes away. I'm the one transferring the person back. And so I'm talking to the family before everything gets started. I'm making sure that they're comfortable, whether they want to be in the room or not. Then they ask me, so when are the people going to get here, or the guy's going to get here for the transfer? And I'm like, oh, it's me. I'm the one that's going to be doing that. They're like, a lady?
Does that mean you're actually picking up the okay?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
And so that's the number one spot where they misunderestimate you, or they just kind of overlook you?
Yep. And when I'm sitting down with the family planning the funeral, sometimes it's easier to talk over a female. So there's things that go on in that way,
unfortunately, that's
just,
I hate that.
But
I hate that. I hate that that's the world we live in. As I have a daughter, and we've just trained her to use her voice loudly.
Yeah.
And because that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad.
It's I always remind myself, people mourn differently. The way that I mourn is not the way someone else will mourn. Some people are angry. Some people don't know how to think. Mm-hmm. So it's
I want to pull at that thread here in a second. But I want to go back to
the female.
This and younger.
Okay.
What do you think? Because there's clearly, I don't even know, what generation are you?
I am Gen Z.
You're Gen Z. What's the one after you? Before, younger.
Before, it's millennial.
And then.
So younger than me?
Yeah. Is that Gen Alpha or something?
Something like that.
Okay, so you're Gen Z?
I am. I'm at the very beginning of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a Gen Zer, you have never grown up not knowing that the internet is around.
Yep.
You have never grown up with having to be dependent on a radio. You have everything, streaming, all the stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, in the world you're connected to the greater world through the internet, so you probably never felt disconnected in that way.
Not at all.
Okay. What do you think younger generations might bring to this profession that I don't want to say is just that's different than previous generations?
I think we're limitless. We don't think with boundaries anymore. I think we can, if we see something, we can achieve it. So I think they'll have lots of different ideas. The problem is, in funeral service, we're trying to keep things traditional. So we are trying to stick to the roots of what funeralism is. So I think they'll have a lot of ideas that they'll bring to the plate, and we'll be able to at least brainstorm it.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard to bring new ideas to funeral service because
it's rooted in tradition.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing with church, right? Like it's a tradition. But I would say that word limitless actually is really interesting. You said that. Because, I mean, how creative do people want you to be creative in that space, you know?
Well, for example, I mean, a virtual funeral that people can watch from anywhere they
there
want.
You go.
That's one idea.
Yeah.
But that also takes away.
I received that. Thank you. I received that.
But that takes away from that beautiful, sacred.
Yeah.
I traveled 10 hours to get here because that person meant so much to me. So it takes away from that aspect of the service itself. So the more modern you get, I think there's going to be less act in how much something means to you. So it's hard in that way. But they're going to be able to bring in a lot of ideas, and they're going to be able to act on those ideas.
Because it's a pretty old profession.
It is.
I mean, there's
from the 1800s.
Well, and that it's an old profession, but it's also the people who work in it are very much. Most of them are retired age.
Yes.
So I mean, there's probably a lot of opportunity for people to work in that for younger, if they so choose. With the creativity, it is going to be interesting or limitless, as you say. Cremation. You know, as a pastor, I see that's more and more discussion where we actually went through it at our church where 20 years ago, it was almost frowned upon with cremation. But now I think that's becoming the norm due to cost, due to change in religious landscape, due to a bunch of different factors. Do you see creativity and limitless being interjected into that area?
I do.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot more things that you're able to do when cremation is provided.
Yeah.
I will say psychologically, it doesn't give people closure that they need when they don't see, and I learned this in school, when you do not see someone that you're familiar with laying and your brain can't process this person has passed away, if you just see a vase or a box, you don't connect that with the person has passed away. So your brain, I mean, I know for myself, I had a friend that passed away when he was 22.
Yeah.
And all I saw was a picture next to an urn, and my brain still thinks, he's alive. I just haven't seen him in a while. So when it comes to cremation, I myself am more for the burial side of things. I think it's very much more sacred. You're able to have pallbearers. You're able to have the closest people to you, put in the work of carrying your loved one to their final resting place.
Has that probably changed the industry? Because you say all that, and now I kind of feel guilty because I know you're not projecting that on me. I just naturally feel like I'm wrong for my whole life, so it's not you.
No.
But like I would probably be cremated. I mean, just for have you seen that change your industry?
Yes.
And has it been the last 5 years? You would say
it's been since I came
since
into
you started.
That cremation has been probably 60% more cremation, 40% traditional burials. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And there's a lot of things you can do with cremated remains. Necklaces, you can make things out of it. Now you can even shoot someone into space or make.
Can you really?
Yeah. or make a coral reef out of their cremated remains.
Oh, my.
So lots of different things you're able to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just want to bring their loved one home and keep them with them
Yeah.
until they're comfortable, if they want to have a burial or a scattering of some sort.
So you did talk about grieving and how nobody there. You work in a profession of grief. Like you work. Have you noticed patterns of grief over the last in your time in this job?
Not necessarily.
Really?
I think it's a generational pattern more than every few years.
What do you mean by that?
I think a lot of people, and I'm really into the psychology behind things.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are passing away are in their 80s right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the children that are taking care of them are mostly just doing whatever their parents wished for.
You named a true reality. That is yes. I verify what you just said.
But when it comes to the younger people that have passed away, so people in their 50s, 60s, when their children are taking care of them, they're doing what they need to mourn the death. So the older generation, their kids are doing whatever they wanted them to do. But the newer generations, they're doing what they need for the funeral, what they need to see.
And what does that look like?
A lot of it's cremation and taking that urn home. Because, I mean, it is hard to think about losing someone, not only losing them, but then just putting them in a place forever.
Yeah.
When you just want to, you never want to lose them in the first place.
Yeah.
So why, if you can take them home, why not do that? Whereas the older generation's like, oh, I'm just going to do what they want me to do.
Okay. That's a real reality that's happening. Man, that's I'm glad you said that. I do respond to that very, very much. Okay, so how's it changed you? You kind of grew up with it, so maybe you've always been in this way, but like, how's it changed you working around grief? I mean, literally, you see people, and people do grieve differently. There are some who can grieve in like it's like a life well lived, and like, or there's a certainty in their life, and like, that grief looks very different sometimes with others who are searching and just a different, wider array of experiences. So how has working around grief changed your life? Maybe how I better ask is, how has it changed your husband's life?
Yeah. There's a lot of hard days. I will say, especially after becoming a mom, everything's scary now. You're constantly thinking about someone in your family passing, and you don't know when they're going to pass. But I have not had anyone in my family pass away besides a distant relative. So I'm always wondering how I'm going to handle things.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering, even when I worked at my previous funeral home with my grandpa, if he were to have passed away while I was working there, I don't think I would have been able to work there anymore, just because of memories. It's definitely matured me throughout the last 10 years. Of course, I started at 18.
Yeah.
So immature, teenager, and...
Can you even be immature in that job?
No.
I don't feel like you could, like...
You cannot.
Yeah, you can't be a typical 18-year-old in that job.
I've had many sit-downs, just to talk about, here's what we expect.
You have had to sit down with younger people?
No, they've had to sit down with me.
Oh, with you?
Yeah. When I was younger, I was sheltered. And so when I finally had a big girl job, I didn't act, and not horrible. I didn't act horribly or anything like that, but I did a few things that I'm a little ashamed about. And
that's called being a human.
Oh,
though.
I know, but it definitely, I had a father at that previous funeral home, and he would sit down and say, here is what you should have done in that instance.
You had a father figure?
Yes.
Okay.
Father figure.
Okay.
My boss.
Okay.
So I matured a lot and grew up very quickly.
Well, yeah.
And I was always told that I'm more mature than my age.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going into this, already mature, already knew what I need, right from wrong.
Yeah.
And that I learned fast that I did not. So, and I'm still learning every day, of course.
Well, yeah, you're still so young. I mean, 10 years is a lot, but you're still so young into the profession. It's not that you're young, it's that you're young into the profession.
Yes.
So,
And like I said, becoming a mom, everything is scary now.
yeah.
You know,
That's a good answer.
you're already heightened when it comes to here's how to keep my child safe, but now you're witnessing different things in life. You're
Yeah.
witnessing how someone passed away. You're witnessing how other people respond to things.
And I'd imagine it's like your what the psychologist and medical people would call it it's your reticular activated center. And it's like this thing that, like, because you're seeing it, you work in death, you see it all the time too.
Yes, when you have a yellow car, you're seeing all
Yes.
the yellow cars around
Yes.
you now, before you didn't see any.
That's right.
Yep.
And so you're there and you work in it, so now you probably see it all the time.
Yes.
And you're heightened to it.
Heightened, very.
Wow.
And, you know, having a therapist or a counselor is very good for everyone.
But especially your profession.
But yes, they have seminars there where they say you need to seek someone to talk to, whether it's your
bet.
spouse, someone in the family. But then they
You can't
also
throw that
say-
on your spouse,
No,
though.
you can't.
No,
you
you
can't
can't.
just be like, look, you know, guess what I had to handle today.
Yeah.
And then he's automatically.
I've done that for my wife and that's one of my main regrets in life is I've done that to my wife. It's actually quite selfish when I think about it.
It is.
Well, you don't have to just put me down
No,
like
I'm
that.
sorry. I criticize myself.
I'm joking. No, it is selfish. It's like, because I verbal vomit on her about the problems, and then it's like, well, now she has a
Now
view
she's
of this.
depressed.
Yeah. That okay. So one other thing I really want to get to is like, what is, without sharing names, without sharing where it happened, what city, what's kind of the wildest thing you have seen working in a funeral home? Before you go, I can tell you mine. So, you know, I'm a
Go ahead.
pastor. I remember one of the first funerals I did. It was for a toddler. And it's horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
but I will never forget that feeling of knowing and seeing a family without hope, because 2 or 3 people like pulled up coolers of beer at the funeral graveside, and they were just cracking them open, and then it got belligerent really quick. And it was just a very atypical experience that I remember very, very well. So I imagine for you have a ton of experiences.
I do.
Yeah.
There are some that I won't mention.
Of
Just
course.
Because of the manner of the death.
Sure.
And it was very traumatic. But there are some great celebrations of life. that
Okay,
I've
so you're going to go
seen.
with the positive.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had a funeral where he was a farmer.
Yeah.
And he had a full traditional burial, which means you're in a full casket with it open.
Yeah.
People are passing by, paying their respects. But the way we took him to the cemetery was on his tractor.
Okay.
Yep. We hooked they had the
that's sweet.
tractor with a trailer, and they put his casket on top of the trailer, hooked it up, and off we went to the cemetery.
That's really sweet.
So it's not wild like
Yeah.
your question, but it's there's so many things you
That's
can
probably
do.
why you have a great, promising career in your field. Is you did not pick up that bait right there.
Yeah,
Good
sorry.
for you. No, good for you. Because there is some wild stuff, I'm sure, that you tell in your own circles, and I get why you wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
So I
There's
get
too
it.
many
We can move
dramatic
right on
things.
with that. Okay, so after sitting with so many endings, what do you hope people remember about your life when your story is told?
I hope that people remember about my life. Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that people know that I tried to be as nurturing and gentle as I can be.
Mm.
My life has been centered around being someone that people can go to.
Mm.
And being someone that's there no matter what, as much as I can be. I think this period of my life is a little bit harder when it comes to not
Sure,
only
you
being
have
a
young-
toddler mom, but
Yeah.
caring for the families that I'm meeting. But I hope that I actually helped people,
Mm.
and I hope they remember me for that, especially those close to me.
I like that. What do you think everyone ought to experience while they're alive? Like, what do you think everyone ought to experience or do before it's too late?
My logical response is to get life insurance.
Okay.
It helps so many people when they don't know what to do after
Yeah.
someone unexpectedly passes away. Having that backup financially, it makes or breaks a funeral. I will say that. But when it comes to someone's life, I think just choose to love, give love, receive love. Don't just be happy as much as you can.
I love it.
I will say that this culture is all about health and diet. The people that I have seen that lived the longest are those that just did whatever they wanted to do in life. An Italian man that only had wine, spaghetti, and pizza lived to 98. He would smoke too.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
he just did whatever he wanted. And low stress life makes you live the longest.
I receive that. We will end on that high
I might
note.
die early.
Oh, I received that. That is that's a high note to end on.
what
I
I've
appreciate
noticed.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Taylor, thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.